I still remember the chill that crept through me the first time it happened, a crisp autumn breeze that not only rustled the fallen leaves, but also brought a sense of foreboding. It was like October had cast a spell over our small home, and every sunset threatened to unfold something dark and unspeakable. I was just 8 years old, a kid who loved the Halloween excitement, dressed as a ghoulish monster dreaming of candy and laughter. But that year, as the shadows grew long and the sky turned purple, my excitement quickly morphed into terror. When the sun dipped below the horizon, I noticed right away that the house felt off, like it was holding its breath. It was quiet, more than usual. I remember it was almost as if the world outside had faded away. I wandered into the living room, calling out to my older brother, Jake. My heart raced when silence met my call. I thought they were playing hide and seek, but the longer I searched, the more panic tightened around me. The doors were locked, the windows sealed tight, and I was utterly alone. That was when I found the note. It lay folded neatly on the kitchen table in my mother's neat handwriting. The words felt like a shroud wrapping around me in an embrace of dread. Rule 1, stay in your room until the morning. If you hear anything, ignore it. Crimson and gold leaves whirled outside like physical manifestations of my turmoil, but I obeyed. I retreated to my room, clutching a flashlight, urging myself to breathe deeply. I crawled under my blanket, convinced it was just a bizarre Halloween game. But that night, whispers danced through the darkness, taunting me from the walls. I could hear them, soft, insistent murmurs as if the house were speaking in tongues. I squeezed my eyes shut, willing the shadows to dissolve. When morning broke, my family reappeared, seated at the kitchen table as if they had been there the entire time. They laughed, warmed by the sunlight streaming through the window. I felt like I was lost in a nightmare. I asked where they had gone, but they just smiled, brushing off my questions, insisting that I must have just been dreaming. But that experience ignited something in me, a fear buried deep. Each Halloween after that unfolded like a twisted script, my parents vanishing just as dusk unfolded, always leaving me the same note. Gradually, the rules became more stringent, each note more unsettling. Rule 2, don't look outside. Rule 3, never respond if someone calls your name. The noises morphed into something sinister as I got older. I recall the night of my 9th Halloween vividly. The thumps on my door were no longer a whisper, but an urgent pounding. My mother's voice floated through the silence, begging for me to come out. Yet deep in my gut, I knew better. I clenched my teeth, reminding myself of the clarity that came with sticking to the rules. I stayed locked in my room, trembling, listening as the sounds faded with the rising sun, only to be greeted by my parents, their faces plastered with that same unnerving calm. Years passed like this. My family's Halloween vanishing act became my routine nightmare. But on my 13th Halloween, I encountered something new. The note I found felt different, chilling in its simplicity. Rule 4, something new is in the house tonight. Be cautious. A cold dread curled around my spine as I locked my door. That night, fear consumed me as the noises grew louder. I could hear something breathe outside my door, deep and slow, unlike anything human. I wanted to scream, but I draped myself in a blanket, trembling, fighting the urge to run. Then the scratching began, and my heart skipped a beat when I realized it was coming from inside my room. The sound echoed like a sinister lullaby, wrapping around me like a serpentine whisper. And then I heard it, a child's giggle, soft and mocking, a sound that chilled my blood. It was not mine nor a part of my family. It didn't belong to this world. I pressed my back against the wall, holding my flashlight as if it was a shield, still holding on to that flicker of denial, convincing myself it was simply part of the game. Suddenly, a powerful bang resonated from the door, shaking the walls of my sanctuary. I froze, the flashlight slipping from my hands to the floor, plunging me into darkness. The door thudded mercilessly with a force that primal, and I could hear a voice permeate the gloom. My mother's voice, sweetly insistent. You can come out now, just a game. That voice felt wrong, more haunting than before, but the lock clicked softly, and I felt the handle twist under someone's grasp. It was happening. In that moment of reckoning, the door creaked slowly open, revealing a figure standing in the shadows, slender with 2 long limbs and claws that glistened ominously. It was not my mother. I could feel its gaze pierce through me, chilling my soul, and just as it stepped into the light, the sun broke across the horizon, casting it back into the void. The pounding ceased as quickly as it began, leaving me in a deafening silence. I hesitated before I creaked open my door, my heart still pounding like thunder in my chest. The house was eerily normal, my parents stirring at the kitchen table, sipping coffee as if the night's terror were nothing but a distant memory. As I recounted the night's events, they simply smiled and dismissed my words with laughter. "You must have had a nightmare, sweetheart," my dad said, the familiar warmth in his tone doing nothing to ease the chill in my bones. They insisted it was just my imagination, but I had felt it. It had been real. Years later, as an adult, those memories remain vivid. Whatever lurked in the shadows of that house has not faded. As my own children grow, I find myself haunted by the knowledge of what lies hidden, waiting for the night to fall again, ready to reach out and ensnare unsuspecting souls. I will protect them, keep them safe from that nightmarish legacy, no matter what it takes. But I fear the truth. That darkness emerges every October, an invitation to a game that never ends. I know Halloween is coming, and with it, the haunting echoes of my childhood return, eager to play once more.